And we're live.
My man, what's going on?
Nothing, man. Actually, a lot of good shit on the training side too. We've started to really expand, and you're going to see a lot more people internationally as well.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just I don't know. It's been years, but I don't know why. We just never, got back to, advertising towards international.
Yeah.
So said we talked about like, even though we've been around a while, we're always trying to get new people in the door to check us out. So we give away like the free combatives fast course
Yep.
for men, and then we're giving away the free aware course to the women. So two different concerns, two different reasons, specifically why mostly men would seek what we do and women would seek what we do. So,
Well, it's
yeah,
awesome because the fast course. I mean, it has a lot of shit in it too. So that's they're getting a tremendous amount of content for that.
yeah. I mean, it's everything from, it's like how to set up your own training. And then we give you
Yep.
the outline of the stuff. And then, yeah, again, it's like a good, solid, course to kind of, to see what we're about. And then what I like about the aware on the women's side is that these are things they can do right now, and that could have a
Exactly.
direct impact on, um, on their safety. And
Yeah.
it's just free. I mean, honestly, it's like we used to charge for this stuff. Just, obviously there's a lot more behind it, but it's a good, step, and we make our money, by them training and buying the other courses to continue their
Exactly.
education. Uh, yeah. So what's going on the instructor side?
Yeah. So I've been putting more focus onto. Funny you mentioned international because that's kind of where I'm putting a little bit more focus on as well.
Hmm.
Um, because we need to. I mean, we've got people in Germany. We've got people in Panama. I think what's his face is still in Switzerland.
Yep.
Got to reach out to
Marcus.
Marcus and see how Marcus is doing. But yeah, I'd like to put a lot more focus on internationally. We've been getting a lot of leads coming in, so I'm slowly sifting through those. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still get butts in seats and get them seeing what we do and get them just pulling the trigger, because I mean that's what it comes right down to. You can look at it all day long, but without action, there's fucking nothing, right? So
Right.
we're looking for hungry people. We're looking for people who get it. I mean, you and I have had so many countless discussions about all of the other things that are out there, and I mean, there's always going to be a huge demand for self-protection. We
Right.
both know that there's always going to be, because there's always going to be shit going on in the world. And some of the programs out there are pretty good. At the end of the day, though, a lot of them are just, have you come in, give you some fucking content, send you on your way, and don't continue the support. Whereas, our biggest point of difference still continues to be that mentorship. And
Right.
more and more people really need to take advantage of that, because, I've been with you since 2011 and we've gone
Right.
through the trenches together, right? And we're
Right.
there to show people what mistakes we've had over the years, man. Like, so they
And
can not
we'll
fucking slip
continue
up.
to we continue to learn and evolve
Yeah.
because things have changed. Um, they it's just getting most of what you're getting is with, well, as you said, with every program is like really not a business building program. It's just like a
Right.
certification, right? So no matter what
Exactly.
the content is, you get certified. It's like, okay, yeah, bye, good luck. Here you
Yeah.
go. You put your name on a website and things like that. But there's like day to day, week to week stuff. And especially, look, this is like a great, I mean, we do have some people doing it full time, but for the most part, there's a great side hustle.
Yep.
Um, and if it's something that you really feel passionate about, which a lot of people do, that it's a great way to start, guys are teaching in their garage, you know,
Exactly.
um, and then, doing it like once or twice a week, doing private lessons instead of doing personal training, they're doing self-defense, which you can add this component to a physical, um, training program. But again, it's, you're giving somebody life skills. And that's, and it's ongoing. So, especially, I mean, look, I mean, everyone's like, they say, oh, things are crazy now. I'm like, I think things always have been crazy. There's always been violence. It's just is what it is. I mean, people are, or that say it are just being, made aware of it. This is something that we've known been going on forever. So, yeah, you
Yeah.
need to, stay. It's not the latest. It's more to the point of what's right as far as, self-defense, and then the latest is how people are finding their ways into you know uh, growing their student base again
Yeah.
without having a brick and mortar. I mean, we've all used like but you could find, if you and if you can't, if you can't use your, if you don't have enough room in your apartment or whatever, I mean, you could find spaces to teach off hours. I mean, so, karate school down the road I use. There's a gym. There's a multiple places that have downtime and have empty space. So,
Well, and I'll tell you, I've spent a lot of time traveling. I mean, there's also the corporate side of things, but just going into people's homes as well. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the really nice thing about self-protection, self-defense is you don't need a lot of fucking room, right? This is not traditional martial arts where you're doing katas all over the place or where you're sparring. You just
right,
need a little bit of space to be able to work, with a student or a couple students.
right, exactly.
So
So,
that's where we are with that. And I mean, we'll just, we put it out there constantly. We talk about it. And I mean, for, all of the martial artists who are out there who maybe have their own studios, who have their own establishments, who are looking to add on some, real world self-defense, reach out to us. Let's have a conversation,
the problem is, because they're trying, it's like, it's tricky in the fact that, if you have a martial artist, like, well, we teach self-defense. I'm like, well, what do you teach? And then you'd be like, okay, Shotokan karate. Well, technically, it's a cultural fighting art that you can use to defend yourself, but it's not mission specific to self-defense.
Exactly.
Like, when do you get into awareness? If I'm going to sit there, if you're going to grab me, when do we can eliminate a lot of this other stuff. I mean, I can't, I can't comment on what you teach as per self-defense unless I see it, but I have an idea of what is taught based on, decades of seeing it and looking at, specific defenses, specific counter moves that really just don't work, that train the bad habits of training to wait and all the other stuff that we drone on and on about that I'm tired of hearing myself say. But it usually winds up being the same old thing. And the problem is that they think like, well, when you get, it would be a good intro, but when they want to get to the next level, like, there is no next level.
That's right.
And this is the thing. If you want to do a martial art, you want to, improve yourself, be part of a, community and a culture and, compete in sport and things like that. That's awesome. And that's great. But, it's not necessarily for self-defense. Again, you can defend yourself. Again, there are very tough people that do this. But for self-defense, you don't have to do that. And to be honest, like, let's say you trained in this as if you were training in, like, let's say training for an MMA fight, you'd be a freaking animal.
Of course.
Because it's about effort and time, not technique. And our technique is like, look, I'm like I used to think of when we used to learn self-defense in the Taekwondo school. And they would, like, let's say we do a wrist grab, right? The first thing we would do is do a loosen up technique, which is basically hit them, which was great.
Yeah.
And then we would go and do this other bullshit. I'm like, well, why don't we just keep hitting them?
Yeah.
And loosen them up to the point where they let go, which they will.
Right.
Right. As soon as you hit them in the face. So you don't need any of the other stuff. All the
That's right.
stuff that takes a half a second to figure out, oh, just mash a guy in the face a bunch of times. And then it takes hours to be like, oh, I got to do all this other crap
Yeah.
and get this stuff around. And you're like, why do we need to do that? Well, if I go, no, you don't. And this is what, trying to explain to people. And it's like, oh, man. So, again, this is specifically self-defense. A lot of people don't want it. Like we said, we have you trained up in a handful of weeks. And then if you're, an instructor and you're new to this thing, we'll get you to like level 1 in weeks. It's not complicated. And then you teach. I mean, start teaching right away. But it's like, if I learn something, how to do something, and then I turn around and I teach you how to do something because I just learned how to do it. Right. Again, not complicated. If you have if you can swing a bat and kick a ball, you can do everything, but you don't have to do everything. It's like what I'm going through, as I'm writing, I have all the rough draft of Self-Defense for Dummies done. I have the title, I have the chapters updated. So now I'm going through and then just going through the rough draft and putting in where pictures are going to go, shit like that. But
that'll be awesome. So last week we didn't jump on a call because you were shooting some footage, I believe, for the Bodyguard.
Yes. Yep. So we've got the new backpack, new Peacemaker jacket. The production order's been placed. We're probably going to be taking orders on that in about 3 weeks. We'll start. And then for delivery, like end of April, beginning of May. So right around the corner. Really, I haven't seen the footage yet. I haven't even looked at I just have product shots up, and let me see if I got something I can share. Hold on. Create a bodyguard. Okay, bulletproof backpack. Shoot. Did I put it there? I think I did. Okay, bodyguard product shots. All right. Let's see if. All right. And share. There we go. Okay, this is going to be exciting. Everybody see that? Yay! Okay, so this is the elite one. You'll see there's like as I go through, we're also doing custom rocker patches. So we can do that stuff. There's the back of the elite. Again, very clean, very simple.
Yep.
That's the inside. We put the branding inside of this one.
And what's the capacity for that?
25 liters. It's like almost, it's just a little more than half the size of the other ones.
Okay.
It carries the same armor, everything, full-size handgun, all that stuff. But you can kind of see the size of it there. I mean, the knock on the other ones was like, oh, they're too big and bulky. So now we've got, this is for commuting, school, day to day. We've got the switchblades like your weekend bag, and then
pop the shit on, jump on the subway, and away you go type of thing.
Right. And then the first responder is the go bag, the tactical bag. So, I mean, you can see, the size of this thing. Again, compression straps on the side that detach. All metal, again, metal buckles. We actually spent a lot. It's got a reinforced bottom. Reinforced grab handle. Really just
nice.
Yeah, I mean, just really just happy with how this one came out. And there's it with a full-size handgun and a little patch on it. And that's
what's the weight on that?
It's around, I want to say 3 pounds, 4 pounds.
I'm guessing if
So
you take it, and slap somebody upside the fucking head with it, it's gonna hurt.
yeah, well, that's without armor in it. Without armor. So you're looking at like with three, with the shit, it's 11 pounds with the rifle plates, and it's like 5 pounds with the with the 3A armor on it. So
Fantastic.
yeah, I mean, really, there it is, on a travel bag. So after, like, for example, like after you go through airport security, there's really no reason to wear the thing. So, you just drop it on your carry-on. Again, yeah, I got more. I just want to see. There's a shot of the heavy duty. We're using YKK zippers. I mean, all
Yep.
really. There's the handle. I mean, just really all like sexy kind of stuff. That's it, with a rifle plate in it. Okay, there are the buckles up close. So they're metal, quick connect, tactical buckles.
Nice.
They're not going to get smashed. Metal clips on the side. Yeah, this is just let me just see. There's the family there. So you've got the go bag to the right, day bag to the left, and then the commuter bag to the middle. And I suspect that the Elite's going to be the most popular one we have. And then the jacket. Okay, there's the jacket. We'll have pictures of me wearing it. I'm just waiting for to look at those pics, but you can see the breakaway conceal carry there. There's a little close up of it.
It's funny seeing the jacket, because I've still got the very first ones that
Right.
you did.
Right, and they were great.
Yeah.
The reason I went with this design, one is because we're gonna come in at like $100 cheaper. And it only takes it takes like 10 by 12 front and back armor, so it's really just like essential handgun armor. The other ones were a lot bulkier. They had a lot more armor on them. What I mean, I like the other jackets for how they functioned and how they worked. What I didn't like about them is you wearing them every day was kind of a problem.
Yeah.
So because they're bulky and they're big, so if it it's got to be, I mean, not so bad for you for being up in the Great White North, but
that's right. But our friends in fucking Mexico might not.
Right, or if you're wearing it and you're around here, even you can really only wear that like 2-3 months out of the year, where now you can wear this 8 months out of the year. And if you wanted just to buy it without the armor, it's a cool concealed carry jacket.
Yeah.
So the other one had the holster, had an extra holster in the back, which kind of had to rip open to get. So you had to rip open the armor to go get your firearm if you did carry it inside the holster of the jacket. So that posed, gave you some exposure. This keeps you full center line, and it operates with a rig you already have. So anything that you're carrying around, you're carrying, doesn't matter. On the hip, appendix, that's it. So we can let me just stop sharing. All right. So you'll get, it's a lot more versatile unit. It allows you to provide, it provides, again, takes standard armor. So now if you have your own armor, that you have in a backpack, then now you can switch it out and use the armor. So I'm like, oh, I'm wearing the jacket today. Let me throw the armor in it and go. Let me use the backpack. Let me switch it out over there. So you're not like investing in all of this armor when you only need like 2 pieces.
Yeah. So that's, right? I mean, that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Right. And then against the current competition, I'm going to buy a couple of the jackets. Most of them, I think, don't provide really any centerline protection. They provide back, and then they'll have 2 panels up front. So really, your centerline isn't covered, which is kind of where everybody shoots. I think that's Bulletproof me. I don't know for sure. I gotta look at them. And then I think Wonder Hoodies took our old design, and it gives you, gives you a lot. Again, I'm gonna buy these things, but other problem with our old design was that the Velcro closure across the front.
Yeah.
It worked fine. It worked great. It gave you like double protection, actually. The big problem was when you took it off in public, it was just big rip of the Velcro. And then everybody's like, well, what the fuck is that? Right.
Yep.
So now they're kind of, maybe they look at you, maybe they don't. This doesn't matter. It just slides in. It's silent. Unless somebody's looking at you, you'll be like, what the hell is that? But yeah. So, and the material
like eating potato chips at fucking church, right?
Right, exactly. And the material on this is real. The jacket construction, it's an expensive jacket to make. So kind of the other ones were just like a fleece over the body armor. Now this is like an actual really, really good jacket that you could wear anyway. So
beautiful.
Now, did you see this attack on this girl working out in the gym?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm guessing that's a no.
No. It sounds like if I did, I'd probably remember it, right?
Yeah. So this girl is working out. It's like one of those 24-hour kind of fitness places.
Okay.
All right. And let's see if you see it. Okay, there you go. So this is the security camera footage, and it has her interview on it, and I'll let it go. But there's a lot we can learn from this. So she's working out by herself. It's late at night, and let's just go. Okay, so she's at her apartment complex, which means you need a key to get in here. If you don't have a key, if you don't live there, you can't get in to work out. So she's by herself. And, what happens?
Whenever he was at the door, I buzzed him in and he came inside. My thought process was it was just another dude coming in to work out. So I didn't think of anything out of that.
Yeah. Again, because we're mostly nice people and we're not switched on. If you're in condition yellow, you're just saying, I'm sorry. Again, we talk about, managing our personal space, not putting yourself in a situation where, you're isolated from the world with anybody.
Yeah, right? This is the thing. I mean, she's by herself. I mean, and somebody shows up who doesn't have a key or doesn't have access to the apartment. You gotta stop and think for a second. You know what? Fuck this. I'm not letting this dude in.
Right. And I don't know. She looks pretty strong, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I know those are CrossFit weights. It looks like she's got 4 wheels on there. But, I mean, she's a fit kid.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So.
But look at the position she's in, fucking sitting with her back to him.
Yeah. Okay, now he's, moving in. I mean, yeah. Again, you don't know what you're dealing with. And, yeah, so.
As soon as he was approaching me, I pushed him. I said, bro, what the F are you doing? Get away from me. Stop trying to touch me. And he started.
Okay, see how I like how she's using her environment now.
Yeah.
Which is something we train. And it's something you should naturally do. She's resisting. She pushed him off of him. And yeah, again, she's fucking putting up a fight. And dude, she's
now surrounded by all those weights and shit. She's got to find fucking something to grab and just
right.
Chasing me around the bench, and we ended up on the other side of the gym.
Oh man.
Oh, not good.
I'm grateful that she came forward. I know that her story is going to be an inspiration to other women.
My advice would be to never give up. My parents always told me in life to never give up on anything. And that's one thing I always kept in my mind when I was fighting him. As as long as you don't give up, you fight back, you show him that you are strong, that you are one, that you're able to fight back and survive this and get out of the situation, I believe it's possible.
Amen, sister. Okay.
Yeah.
So take this from the beginning, and
she's got great form.
yeah, right. So again, right here, somebody not coming in, someone you don't recognize.
Yes.
But understand the human compulsion to be nice, right? And to project on the people. And he doesn't look like he's wearing flip-flops, for Christ's sake. I get it.
Well, and it's funny because I don't know even just how many times I've been out somewhere and somebody come up to a fucking door or something, and you just naturally, right? You
Help
just
them out.
open it for them and let them.
You know how many times I've seen this at schools, at grammar schools, where people are knocking on doors and then people are letting them in. And I'd be like, don't do that. You don't know who's on the other side of the door. So if they're knocking on the door, they got to find a way in. And they have to understand that. If I go to a door and I don't know the person in there, I'm not attempting to enter that area.
Yeah.
If I don't have a key to get in, right? If I'm this guy, I'm not doing this right now. Right? Again, lets him in, and then that's it.
Of course, she doesn't back to him, and
well, of course she does, right? Because she's not thinking as this is a criminal, this is a predator. She's thinking this is somebody like me, just want to work out.
Yeah.
Again, a normal thought, but not a trained thought.
Yeah.
So, you're watching this, you're looking at this, you gotta freaking, lesson learned. All right. So now he's closing the distance on her, and she is not, her body language is like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, she's standing with her hands on her hips, like, what's your fucking problem? Right
which
there?
is good, because
Right.
you've talked so much about that, about, show a bit of resistance, and even that bit of resistance can really flip the script sometimes.
Right. All right. So obviously the guy's emotionally disturbed under the influence, right? So she resists, okay, great. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you should hit him with an edge of hand. Again, any resistance is good, verbal and physical, and this stops the sexual assault. So now I just say it's interesting. She's trying to dial 911, and you can't even do that.
Yep.
You can't even activate the emergency call on this unless you're like, Alexa, call the cops, right? But again, you don't think of these things, right? So, right now she has her hand. She's trying to call the freaking police. She can't because she doesn't have time. Now, I don't know the layout of the gym, and I don't know why she stayed in the gym, but it's interesting, where he was in relation to the door. So
yeah, and she ran to the other side of the gym where now it doesn't have those same kind of like little barriers that she could put between them.
Yeah, again, when we're in fight or flight, right? I mean, this is like, you don't know what's going to come out of you. And this is what we keep telling people. So you might as well make it, reasonable, right? So train in very hyper specific, non-specific, just hyper selective. So like a few things you're going to do. If all she knew is if anybody came at me, I'm just going to edge a hand and heel him them into the ground. I'm going to kill this. She would have freaking destroyed him. She's strong enough. She pushed him off of her. Now it's like also mindsetting yourself 2 ways out of this place. I'm sure there's possibly, is there a fire exit? I don't know. I mean, she's running to the other. I mean, I'm thinking the orientation of where she came in was to the right. So I don't know if she ran past the door or not, but he's taking her to the ground, right? He's trying to get her on the ground. She's using her legs. Great job there. I wish they showed the rest of that. All right.
It looked like she was trying to hit him with her phone too, which wasn't bad.
No, again, if you notice, she held on to it, right? Yeah. Again, she managed to get off the ground.
And then he gives up. I'd love to know what happened after, because it looked like she was going to try and escort him out or something.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, again, even a little I mean, she obviously had no training, but she was in really good shape. Right. Yeah. And she had the will to survive. So what are you going to tell her? Oh, no, you need a decade of training to be able to do that. No, exactly. She just she was fit and aggressive, and that works. Again, this is not a guy who's trying to, beat her in a death match, right? This is somebody who's trying to impose their will over her, trying to, get something they want from her, and thinking that it's going to be easier than it is. And when you get the resistance, she breaks the predator prey paradigm, and now he's starting to reevaluate. Oh, this is a lot of work. This is not how I expected it to go. Yeah. And, I'm clearly, dealing with an emotionally disturbed person here. But again, these people are, you're looking at somebody who, decided to resist, where there would be some people who would be like, you know what, give them what they want. Don't let them hurt you. All this other nonsense, which, look, I mean, what you choose to fight over is up to you. But studies show that the people who fought back recovered faster, had less psychological damage than the people who didn't. All right. I mean, look, she made a mistake. We all make mistakes, right? She let him into her personal space, right? But then she didn't make another mistake.
Yeah, at least she was switched on enough to realize, oh, this fucking guy's coming towards me.
Right. So, I just, people that are, you're out there, I'm like, you've got, especially, women, holy crap. There's an interesting thing that wrote about like women's intuition. And I was listening to, of course, a podcast. We're talking about women's intuition and how it develops, and it's instinctual when a woman becomes, goes through puberty and becomes like, well, for lack of a better term, like sexualized. Now she comes on the radar of men.
Yeah.
Right. So now is when she becomes hyper aware of people around her and little subtleties, in behavior for protection. Right. I mean, you've got, stronger, bigger, aggressive men, and smaller, weaker, physically weaker women. So, we're training people. We're talking about, we're like, you got to pay attention to that shit. Right. I'm sure there was something in the back of her head that was like, this guy looks a little weird. Right. But reason came in and said, fuck it. You're being paranoid. Don't be stupid. Let him in. It's fine.
The one thing that I noticed in the video that was actually really good too was she didn't have those fucking, or you couldn't see it, she didn't have fucking ear pods or anything like that in while she was working out. And thankfully she didn't. She could hear, what the fuck was going on with him behind. I just picture her, some poor woman there with the fucking earpods in, completely oblivious to shit. Next thing you know, she's
Yeah.
taking a fucking, plate to the back of the head or something.
Right. I mean, look, yeah, she's lucky he wasn't, more violent, right? But he wasn't. So,
Yeah.
She, again, if you're not trained to think in these ways, to manage your personal space, if you're not trained to look at potential, ways you can be assaulted, you're not gonna see them.
Yeah.
So, that is like, our number, that is like the number one first thing you need to do. And this is why this is what we cover in the Aware course. It's like managing your personal space. Don't let fucking people near you. Don't be alone with people. Don't get isolated.
Yeah.
I mean, here you are, first of all, you're working out at night. You're got to be hyper aware.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, and even if you're calling the cops, look, she couldn't even call the cops. And then
even if she did, she's fucking trapped in this place for who knows how long before the cavalry arrives.
Average response time is like 7 to 12 minutes. I mean, it's forever. It's over. I'm just glad she had the she did what she did, and she's fine for it. And don't worry about upsetting somebody for your safety.
Exactly.
And I was like, go get people. It's like, well, I didn't want to know he's out there. I was going to let him in. I don't want to appear like an asshole. Didn't want to appear racist.
Yep.
I mean, I get that a lot. I'm like, well, it's not racist if you see, like, if you're in a certain neighborhood and you see a group of men and you're going to walk through them by yourself because you don't want to appear racist. I'm like,
exactly.
If you saw the same group at a concert, you probably wouldn't think twice about walking past them. You have to understand your situation. And, again, we're thinking, it can't happen here. It's like denial. Denial is the biggest killer of them all, man. Right? I mean, shit. That's what it is. Denial right there. Denial that this guy was going to do something.
You talk about the whole being aware, right? And I think back to when I was a really, really young kid and fucking Sesame Street. You remember that shit? And it's that little song, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong here.
Right.
Like, but you gotta kind of have that fucking mentality now with shit. It's like if things look off, they probably are. Right. And it's like you said, it's not a matter of being racist. It's not a matter of being fucking sexist. It's not a matter of being fucking prejudiced or any of that shit. It comes right down to, you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself safe, regardless of what fucking other people think.
Yep. Exactly. And don't worry about ruffling feathers, getting somebody upset. I mean, right. It's just sorry. Right. Yeah. The risk isn't worth the reward. And to be honest, if somebody sees me and avoids me, I don't give a shit. I'm not offended. I'm like, I get it. I don't care. Right. I'm like, I'm too busy worried about my own shit anyway. You should be worried. I mean, Christ. So,
well, and it was interesting because you show one in an apartment complex, right? And I just think about all these apartments that have these fucking elevators. And I don't know how many times we've had the conversations about people who've just, ridden the elevator, even though their guts were telling them, not to. Things seem a little off. I mean, putting themselves, because they don't want to be rude. They don't want to seem like a fucking, bitch or asshole or whatnot. Right. And I mean, when you get into an elevator, you're pretty much fucked. You're not getting out.
No, that's like hell in a cell, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, holy crap. Oh man. Yeah. I just yeah, people are
and I see that video you just played, and I think I imagine her in that elevator. We could talk about holding the door for the person to come into the elevator, right? Because again, you don't want to seem rude.
Right. Now I'm looking for okay, there we go. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. All right. So I'm looking for the the video you sent me.
Yeah.
You and Josh sent me.
Yes. Josh fired that across to me, and I immediately thought, yeah, I'm going to send this across to you so we could
Yep.
have a little conversation about it.
Right. It's loading up right now. So apparently the story is this guy in Texas is let me just share the screen. Okay. So Texas man is speaking out. I don't know if that's following an attempted carjacking where two suspects, one of them armed, followed him home to into his garage to try to steal his car at gunpoint, but ended up bamboozled and empty-handed. So the
Love that fucking word, bamboozled.
bamboozled is fucking great. So they Texas man said they came to me with a loaded 9mm with an extended clip, at least 40 bullets or so. This happened in Houston. He wished to remain anonymous. One of the suspects, who's believed to be a teenager, demanded that. Okay, here it is. Oh shit. It's okay. Okay, here we go. All right. So let me see if I get volume on this. Okay.
Whoa! Give me new keys, bro. What's up, bro? Give me new keys. Right now. Okay. Right now. Okay, I got them. Can I get them? Don't. Hey, I gotta get my keys. I gotta get my keys. Right now. I gotta get my keys. Right now. Give it to him. Get the keys, bro. I gotta get my keys, man. Give him the keys. I gotta get my keys. I ain't gonna lie. Don't get the car. Come on. Let him get the bag. Give it to him. Give him the bag. No, I need this bag. Hey, get the bag. Listen, man, I got some school psychology. I cannot get the keys, bro. Keys, bro. I'm not gonna hurt you, bro. Just the keys, bro. Man. Take your pocket. I don't have them, man. Hey, bro, keep out the car. I don't have them. Hey, back up. Come on, brother. Back up, bro. Hey, what are you guys doing? Get him, bro. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing, man? What are you guys doing, man? What are you guys doing, bro?
It's like, wait for me.
Right. How are they still following him? Oh, that's probably somebody's phone footage is spliced into it. So I guess oh, did he not? I guess he didn't give him the keys.
Yeah,
Driving with peace of mind is a
Yeah, so apparently unaware keys were inside the backpack. Second suspect grabbed the backpack and took off, which prevented the other suspect from starting the car. Okay, homeowner began chasing the suspect with the backpack, at which point he heard gunshots coming from the first suspect who was behind him. The complainant started to run after the suspect that had the backpack and heard gunshots coming from the first one. Okay, I just said that. All right. Houston Police Department posted on YouTube along with this video of the incident. The suspect that had the backpack also heard gunshots, causing him to drop the backpack. I was fortunate. The complainant was then able to recover his backpack with all of his property, as both suspects were caught up with each other at the 3500 block of West Holcomb. Usually when they say, give me your keys, somebody gives it to them right away and they're gone. Didn't happen that way, so they were bamboozled. Right. So interesting enough, just as we always talk about, like the attacker has a way this is going down in his mind. Right? Because the adrenaline you're under is the adrenaline they're probably experiencing as well.
Yes.
Right? So they're expecting, hey, I'm going to give you the keys, give me the keys. And they hand you the keys. They get keys and they go about their business. It's probably obviously keyless start. So they're in the backpack. So he hands them the backpack because the keys are in there. Kid didn't think of that he probably didn't even hear it if he said it to him.
Yeah.
Right. Because again, auditory exclusion, you're hyper focused on what you want to do. And even the conversation, gets locked into, you can hear that SNS activation. Like, what's going on, bro? What's going on, bro? Give me the keys. Give me the keys. I mean, it's the fucking conversation. They're not talking about Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Right. So they didn't know what to do. Luckily, it was a bunch of errors, or I probably wouldn't be talking to you today. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, look, the kid had a firearm. It's fucked up. So the first suspect described police as a black male with a black hoodie, dark pants. Okay, yeah, great descriptions. Spread off for a blue Chevy Camaro. Information. Call Houston Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. Yeah, so
I mean, they came from the video. It looked like they came in really fucking quick from the time that I'm assuming, just got back home. So,
well, they followed him.
Yeah, but to not see stuff, right, is problem number one, right? Like, again, we don't think about that. Naturally, people just don't sit and think, am I being fucking followed, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, you do need to be aware. Right back to the very first thing we talk about, right?
Right. It doesn't matter if you're in your car. It doesn't matter if you're walking around. It's like personal space, personal safety. It's like we talk about in the aware program again, tactical driving for every day, leaving yourself enough room, paying attention to who, what's following you. I mean, these guys are sizing him up, right? They're trailing him. It's not random. No attack is random. Right, whether it's a 5-minute decision or a 5-hour decision or whatever, they're looking risk reward. Let's follow this guy. He pulls over. We're taking the car. He's by himself. I mean, look, I'm not saying these guys are like brain surgeons, but they're doing something. They jacked a fucking Camaro. I don't think, or purchased it in some way or another. It's not piece of crap car. So, they're figuring something out, right? So they're waiting for their time. They're trailing this guy. As soon as they get the opportunity, they take it, right? Again, think about this from, all self-defense. Soon as you do something they don't expect, it short circuits what they're doing.
Yep.
So their reaction was to get the hell out of there. I mean, this happens the vast majority of the time. We just have 2 instances right now. We watched on video where people resisted or didn't go as planned, and they just wind up leaving.
Yep.
Which happens more than you think. And this is why, people, will be like, to constantly think, and I think it comes from our martial arts mindset, where it's like we got to fight until there's a winner and a loser. It's just like, cheetah chasing down a freaking gazelle. I'm going. As soon as that gazelle, does something, I can't, and I'm tired and I'm done. Right? I gotta wait to get another gazelle that I can catch.
You got this fucking thing with gazelles going on, man.
I do. You watched
the fucking Nature Channel one day, you saw a fucking special on gazelles, and
right.
You were in.
So yeah. And so that's it. So there we are, people. Same old shit.
Yep.
Pay attention, maintain your personal space. Somebody comes up, fucking fight back. Do something they don't expect.
What is it they say? The players may change, the game never does.
Right. Exactly. And it's our job to keep reminding you to do the same shit we keep reminding you to do in the first place. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, man. I'm good. So what else you got going on?
Not a whole hell of a lot. I think fucking St. Patty's Day is coming up pretty soon, so there should be some great shit going on that night.
Yes, of course. Yes, yes,
always,
yes.
always love the idiots on fucking St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, man. Oh shit.
March break is next week, so
Oh, yeah.
fucking bunch of little kids running around. Yeah,
Yeah.
life is
stuff,
good.
Yeah. I got my daughters coming home for spring break on the 25th. That's it. Then I gotta figure out where my kid's gonna go to school next year.
Oh yeah, that's still no decisions have been made on that, eh?
No, we got some schools we gotta visit and usual shit. And he's either gonna be probably in South Carolina or Florida.
Oh, see, I remember the fucking. I don't remember if you were looking at the school there or if it was just a basketball thing, but in Chicago with the fucking chicken joint that you were talking about.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was just said it was weird. Like the coach said to apply, he wasn't getting in there with just his academics. He gets great grades, but they're not Chicago grades. So usually when a coach says that, he would help him get in. So I don't know why the coach asked him to apply if he wasn't really going to help him. And we told him what his grades were, and there was no way he was getting in. So I don't know why he would bother applying.
Yeah.
No, that was bizarre. And it was, and then with schools, it's so strange. Some schools got in there, were not what you would think of as competitive, have became competitive. And then other ones he should have easily gotten into, he didn't get into. It's strange because you've got COVID, which put things back like 2 years. And then then you've also have like the demographics of how many kids applying from your school to that school.
Yeah.
So if like you've got like 10 kids from school A that are applying and you have one school from school B, the 2 or 3 of the best kids from school B or from school A are going to get accepted. And even if those other kids have better grades than the kids from school B will get accepted because they're trying to, keep it diverse and spread everything out. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So on that note, everybody, thanks for joining us. And until next time,
Stay aware.
Yeah. Train honestly.
That's right.
Be safe. Do all this stuff. Train smart. Blah, 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 blah. No. Okay, guys. Peace.